all. Day 2 doing. So if you're coming on live, please say hello. Oh, sorry. Damn. There we go. We're back. Sorry about that. Hopefully I'll figure it out by tomorrow and I'll change my Wi-Fi address to this spot. So how are you doing? How was your night? Did you do the homework? Did you have any questions about the homework? What came up for you from the homework? Was there some new awarenesses that kind of shocked you? I know when I've done these things in the past, I'm like, really? I didn't even know that was a thing. And why is that coming up now? So when things come up and you're shocked, then that's really a good indication that you need to delve a little deeper into it. And keep asking yourself, why? Why is this coming up? Why am I feeling this way? And what can I do about it? And you can do the quiet exercise that we did yesterday, really just kind of tapping into your body and breathing and listening to your body as you're asking the questions. So it doesn't have to be complicated. And so some people's journeys can take a long time and others hardly take anything at all as far as time goes. And the reason is because they're really focused and really concentrated and they want it badly. So most people who have had or been diagnosed with cancer, because it freaks them out so much, they're willing to do whatever it takes. And I can relate to this, not in the sense of the cancer itself, but in my life's journey, especially like I mentioned yesterday, my money story is what has been the teacher in my life. So when we decide enough is enough is usually when things change and shift on a bigger scale. So we want to really tap into that and trust and know that once we decide things are going to change, things are going to change. Because now we're in a different energy. Our frequency is different. We're not, well, if it happens, it happens. And being realistic about it, it's like, no. I said I want to heal. Therefore, I'm going to. Hi, Jennifer. How are you? Put hi in the comments so others can start seeing the video. And if you're on that video on replay, #replay. If you have any questions along the way, please don't hesitate. So we are part of the solution. And like I said yesterday, am part of the problem. So who we have been and how we have been got us where we are. That's the God's honest truth. So we want to take responsibility for that without judgment, without any kind of criticism, any guilt or shame. It is what it is. Hi, Teresa. So it's all about awareness. So now that we know this, what now? What's our next move? What's the next thing we're going to do? How are we going to make the change in our lives? What can we do to take back control and be in our personal power after declaring that we're not going to tolerate or put up with whatever we're going through right now and move forward? So what now? That's the question. What now? And not all of us will have an answer, and you might not have an answer right away, and that's okay. Keep asking yourself the question, what now? What can I do today to help me move forward towards my desired intention? So if you're wanting to lose weight, like we talked about yesterday, what can you do today? Maybe it's going for a walk for a minute. Chunk it down small, because our ego minds, if it's too big, will kick in and call bullshit. So if you say, oh, I'm going to lose 20 pounds this month, it's not going to happen. It could, but it's not going to, because we're human and it's the holidays and we're going to get tempted. And if we do one small change a day, 365 days of small changes end up accumulating, building momentum, getting better, growing more, and evolving and changing. And then all of a sudden, by the end of 2026, you won't know who you are. And you have to put in the effort. So yesterday when I talked about manifestation, the equation is your desire plus our belief, which is usually where we're weak and wobbly, and the action that we take. So if the weak and wobbly part of the equation is where we're taking action from, then usually it's not going to be as beneficial, and it's not going to close the gap very, very much, or as much as if we're coming from the version of you that is decisive and ready and wanting and desiring on a grand scale to do whatever it takes. And sometimes that means getting up in the morning. So when I first started paying more attention to my health, I had to get up in the morning. I think it was 6 or 6:30, and I'm a morning person, but I'm not that early in the morning. And my walking partner had to get out that early because she then had to get home to drop her husband off at work. And so these things happen, and we have to make decisions. So what is it that you need to do to make those small changes? And it could be just journaling information every day. It could be really sitting with yourself and asking yourself the question, like, what do I need today? What does my body need today? What is the next step today? It could be as simple as drinking more water. It could be as simple as paying attention. I wouldn't say, simple, but not always easy. Paying attention to our thoughts. So we have two trains of thought. We have the positive train of thought, the negative train of thought. And I am going way off of, but it's coming through. So the positive train of thought is usually less motivating and less fueled than the negative. We often, and it's just a societal norm, so again, no judgment and criticism, we get caught up in the negative story and the negative beliefs and the negative identity in who we see ourselves as, and the negative emotions and the thoughts. And so this train is being fueled with the negative coal that's going to keep it moving forward. It's going to grow and it's going to have momentum. So what we need to do is, this is going full steam ahead, is decide that we're going to be more conscious of what we say, what we think, what we do, the stories we're telling ourselves, and who we're seeing ourselves as. We're going to put more coal in this train. And what will eventually happen is this train will slow down because you're not feeding it as much, and this train will gather momentum and it will go more forward and it will bypass the negative train. And then when it bypasses the negative train, then things on the outside will start to be more positive and more to your liking. And you'll close that gap between where you are to where you want to be on a grander scale. I hope this is making sense. So we've got to become consciously aware of everything. And most of us are living unconscious lives. We live a life by default, not by design, because we weren't taught that we are in control. We are taught to react and respond to everything outside of us. And that is a world that leaves you in victimhood, leaves you in a disempowered state. So let's take back the reins and say, okay, I've got this. I'm going to do this. So what am I going to do? What are the steps that I need to make in order to move forward? So, releasing what the body has carried. Place your hands on your heart. Take a nice, deep, slow breath in. Imagine your heart softening. And softening just a little bit more. A little bit more. You don't have to have it wide open. You just have to be willing. Willing to receive. Willing to hear the truth. Willing to see the truth in a figurative way. And we know, even before we tap in to our bodies, that we know the truth. So if there's something that has been lingering in your background for a long time that you know in your heart of hearts should happen, actions you should take, places you should go, moves you should make, and you're not doing them, that's probably what's holding you back. So again, it's just about awareness. So the body remembers until you teach it safety. Your mind can move on long before your body does. Your mind can say, I'm fine, I'm strong, I've healed, but your body knows the truth. And the body keeps survival patterns like tightening in the chest to brace for impact. Sorry. I had a tickle. Maybe you're clenching your jaw at night because you're silencing yourself. You don't want to speak the truth, acknowledge the truth. You're going to shrink the heart to avoid disappointment. One of the biggest wounds in women is disappointment. So it's a vicious cycle. And it's kind of crazy making because we don't do the thing because we've disappointed ourselves in the past by not doing the thing. So then we're in this loop of not doing the thing, but that's the thing that we need to do in order to help us move forward. But the wound is we don't want to be disappointed by ourselves or others again. So we don't do the thing. It's crazy making. This is how our mind works. So this, again, we just have to be aware of these things. So what are the things that you should be doing or could be doing and aren't because you're avoiding disappointment? Maybe it's having a conversation. Maybe it's getting into a certain habit. Maybe it's shifting a certain belief. Maybe it's seeing you as a healed person without any emotional trauma, without any mental anguish, without any physical problems. What is the thing that you're avoiding? And that would be really good homework for you to take care of in order to avoid disappointment. Maybe in the survival patterns showing up as tightening the ribs to store grief, or gripping the gut to stay prepared. And not because you're broken, because you're adapted. So these are all survival patterns. And we didn't choose them. This is just the way we've dealt with survival. So now, what? Today we release the adaptations that kept you alive so you can step into the identity you're meant to live. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it can be a matter of just asking yourself, who do I want to be today? Do I want to show up as the version of myself from yesterday that got me to where I am? Or do I want to step into that version of him or her that is choosing and deciding that they are worth it, they're worthy, and they're deserving of all good things? They can be healthy, they can be strong, they can be empowered, they can be whatever you want, abundant in all areas of your life. And it's your choice. It's all about decisions. So let's do a guided energy and somatic release. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. And on the next breath, breathe into the area of your body that feels the most loud today. It's screaming at you. Maybe it's got some tingling or tightness, or it just, you know where it is. It's trying to bring your attention to it. Don't analyze it, just feel it. And then ask that part of your body, what are you holding on to? And listen. Be quiet within yourself. Trust what you hear, see, sense, feel, or just know. Keep breathing. Let any image, memory, or sensation appear. Now imagine a warm white gold light moving through that area, softening it, melting it, unwinding it, releasing decades of stored tension. Imagine your nervous system exhaling from the relief of letting it go. You don't need to force anything out. Just soften the resistance, release the bracing, and allow the body to do what it's been waiting to do. Keep breathing for a few seconds. And when you feel it, let go. Take a nice deep breath. Bring your awareness back to your body. Now, be aware, again, this is part of the human experience. Sometimes the ego mind doesn't want to let these things go because it doesn't feel safe in letting it go. And you can just coax it, talk it to it, and just say, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I acknowledge you, and it's safe to let it go. I remember one client, and we were working in her Akashic records, and we were releasing some old trauma, and she felt she deserved it because of something she had done in the past. But it became like an old pair of slippers that she didn't want to let go. And so we just stayed with it for a few minutes and allow her to trust that letting it go for now, you can always pick it up later, was the best thing for her. And then she let it go. So remind yourself you're safe when you're doing this work. Everything's going to be okay. You're safe, whatever your mantra is. Everything is going to be okay was my mantra for years, especially after the divorce or the separation. We just have a knowing. Well, I had a knowing that it was going to be okay. And we have to have this knowing in our bodies that everything is going to be okay, whether you're dealing with physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or any other kind of pain or trauma or health issues. We've got to get out of our minds. This isn't going to heal itself with our minds. It's got to be in the body, in the heart. So your body speaks the language of the soul. So yesterday we talked about aligning with wellness and letting go of old beliefs that don't serve your healing. Today we're going into the body because healing from the inside out means the body goes first, always. Your mind remembers stories, your body remembers the truth. Your mind tries to make sense of everything, and your body simply shows you what's out of alignment. So when we have this thought that these are just, whatever you're going through is just an opportunity for you to align to your health and wellness, it takes the pressure off. For me, it did anyway. And when I see things through that lens, whether it's someone that's triggered me or my ex-husband trying to goad me into an argument or my girls saying something to me, it was always about, okay, what is the lesson that I need to learn? What do I need to let go of? And why was this coming into my awareness? Because there's still a part of me that was resonating with what they were saying. Remember, everything is mirrors and magnets, right? So we're either pulling it into us because we're magnetizing it from our vibration, our thoughts, our feelings, our stories, the beliefs, and the identity, or they're mirroring us. My ex-husband and I used to mirror victimhood all the time. Absolutely all the time. And he would say to me, oh, you're being such a victim. And then there were times where I had the same thought or I expressed that. And when he said that to me, I had to take a step back and ask myself if that was true. Because what people say to you and what they're mirroring to you is not always the case. It's not necessarily true. It's just they're mirroring it back to you because maybe they're projecting it onto you. Maybe there is a piece of you that still needs to heal that part of you. But it's always an opportunity for us to heal, to get better, to grow, to expand, to evolve. I hope this is landing. Do you have any questions, ladies? Symptoms, emotional or physical, are not punishments. They're not failures. They're just messages. And your inner physician is whispering something needs attention, something needs love, something needs to be released. Whatever you're doing is not working. Something needs to change. And the change has to come from you. This is about you, so no one else can do it for you. The trauma loop in the body's alarm system. So we get to carry unresolved trauma, and we carry it from childhood, from relationships, survival patterns, and our body gets stuck in a loop. And the trauma loop looks like reacting before thinking, feeling triggered by small things, overthinking, hypervigilance, feeling unsafe in your own skin, tension in the jaw, the chest, the belly, emotional heaviness or shutting down, chronic pain, recurring illness, fatigue, being triggered often. And your body loops because it's trying to protect you. It's learned these patterns at a time when you needed them, but what protected you then is what's hurting you now. And the healing from inside out means interrupting that loop now. Okay, so we're going to clear some of your nervous system. Close your eyes again for me. Take a few deep breaths. Imagine every loop in your body, every tight spot, every place you hold fear or stress, worry, doubt, judgment, criticism, any low-level feelings or thoughts or emotions, wherever they are in the body. Now imagine a soft wave of energy, light, warm, loving, brushing across these loops. See the loops loosening, see the circuits unclenching, and just breathe and allow that to happen. Safe to let it go. You are safe. It's safe to let it go. Teresa's asking, can you heal when you're in the environment with someone who constantly triggers your nervous system? 100%. I've done it. Yeah. So triggers are something that is part of a trauma response, usually from childhood, and not always understood by us. What's the reason why we were triggered in the first place? And so when I first separated from my ex, I'm trying to think of timing, we were triggering each other like crazy because I tried to get him to understand to see my point of view, to get him to acknowledge what he's done, to see his part in it all, and he couldn't do it, especially as a narcissist. And so I was, in those moments, out of my personal power. And I was expecting him to respond like a normal person, and he's not. So unhealthy people will not react the way you want them to, ever. And narcissistic, toxic people definitely. So I still to this day, coming on 7 years, live in the same building as he does. He lives in a separate apartment as part of the building, and I live in the main house. But he would come into, because there's double doors for fire reasons adjoining the apartment to the main building, my space. And he used to come in all the time, uninvited, just waltz in, say whatever he's going to say, totally disrupt things, shift my mood. And I would feel like I needed to defend myself, is what usually you feel. And the truth is that it's an invitation and we don't have to take it. When one of the coaches that I follow said this, I was like, what? What do you mean I don't have to take it? Of course I have to defend myself. I have to tell my side of the story. I have to push back because what he's saying isn't true. You could. And how does that feel? I did, and I hated who I was being. Hated constantly fighting with him. Hated constantly trying to justify or make him understand and him not getting it. Hated it. And with coaching and working on myself and healing a lot of these things, I was able to get to a point where I call myself Teflon now. And I can walk into the room, or he can walk into a room and he can cuss at me. He can tell me all sorts of things. He can call me names. He can do whatever he wants. And I just look at him and then turn away. It does not bother me, and it doesn't affect me anymore because I know the truth. I know I'm a good person. I know I'm not what he says I am. I know whatever he's doing, he's trying to engage me to get me into a fight. And I'm not accepting his invitation. So you can decide today, Teresa, that you've had enough and be in your personal power. And being in your personal power means you don't feel the need to explain, to justify, to get them to understand. None of it. You just hear what they have to say, maybe, maybe not, maybe walk away. Depends on what you want to do. And they will get it eventually. And if you're with a narcissist, nothing gets them more than you not reacting and responding. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. I remember one day I was in my office, I'm working on the computer, and he comes stomping down the hall, and he comes into the doorway at my office, and he starts cussing me out and calling me names. I don't even know what he was talking about. I just looked at him. I kind of laughed and chuckled a little bit and resumed doing what I was doing. We do not have to react and respond. We don't. And that's something we've never learned. We've always been made to believe that we have to. And that's not true. So convert it to your body at being unwell. What's the trigger for your body? Well, maybe it's that you don't eat your proper foods and it causes something in your body. Maybe that's your trigger. And so, or chips, or having junk food in your house. Don't bring it into your house. I know that about me. I am not strong enough not to eat that bag of chips that I just bought. I'm not strong enough to not eat the chocolate. Now, I can have a bag of chips in my house for like 10 days, and I can have a little bit at a time. Same with the chocolate. Same with wine. I had a bottle of wine had sat here for 4 months. I had a bottle of champagne from last year sitting in my house for like 6 months. So I don't overindulge, but I know if it's there, it's calling me. So I don't bring it into the house. So what is your trigger? What is your go-to to go into the survival response? And then if you can eliminate it, do. Okay? So the body keeps score, but it also keeps the solution. This is the part most people miss. Your body is not only where the pain lives. Your body also is where the healer lives. Your body has a built-in reset system, has a built-in repair system, has a built-in truth detector, especially if you're an empath, a built-in intuitive compass, which will tell us what to do, when to do it, and give us the nudges, whisper in our ear to do this, do that. Don't ignore it. It'll get you around what you want to where you want with the least resistance. It also has a built-in energetic healing mechanism. There was a study that I read about where there were a couple scientists, and they had a group of people with a test tube with their DNA in it. And they had the person pull up a really unhappy memory and a thought and really feel those negative feelings: anger, frustration, hurt, pain, hate, maybe, whatever the emotions were that they pulled up. They took that DNA strand, put it under the microscope, and the DNA altered. They took that same DNA, put it back in the test tube, and had the person think happy thoughts and pull up a happy memory and feel all the happy emotions around it. Took the same DNA out of the test tube and put it under the microscope, and then DNA altered back. Power of the mind, power of the thought and emotions, and the power of our body. We underestimate it on a grand scale. So when you come to me as a client, you can give me your general story, which I usually ask my clients to do, so I have some understanding of where you're coming from and what makes you tick and what's bothering you, and possibly get to the root of what the underlying stuff is. And that's usually it, because I see you for who you really are. That healthy, strong, independent, capable human being that is willing to do the work, that is willing to be who he or she wants to be without all the crap. So we unremember all that's been put on us, and it's always a choice and always a decision. Most people are trying to think their way out of pain, but the soul heals through sensation, presence, and embodiment. You got to feel the feelings. Emotions are supposed to come to and through us. You got to allow it to sit in your body and pass through. And then you've got to embody who you want to be. When you reconnect to your body, you reconnect to source. There was a lady I was working with a couple weeks ago, and she had this disconnect between her body and her head. And that's happened a couple times with a few different clients. We cut off our bodies. We're not connected to our bodies anymore. And I was guilty of this as well. When I was learning to do Akashic records, when I was going into my own records, everything was head up. We've got to tap into our hearts. We've got to ask our souls, our intuition, our inner guidance for help. That is what's going to move us, and it's going to move us on a quantum scale. This is very limited. Our soul self, God self, is limitless. Infinite possibilities. And it has the answers. Always. So your body has been carrying old scripts. I must shrink. I must be strong. I must do everything. I can't rest. I can't trust anyone. I'm alone. Nothing ever works out for me. I'm always sick. Healing is hard. I'm broken. Any of these resonate with you? And today we're going to start releasing those scripts, and not with the body, not with the mind rather, but with your body. Again, close your eyes. As I read that list, what popped out at you? I'll read it again. I must shrink, be strong, do everything. I can't rest. I can't trust anyone. I'm alone. Nothing ever works out for me. I'm always sick. Healing is hard. I'm broken. What really resonated with you? And what has been repeating in your body for years? Now ask your body to show you where that is being stored. Where do you feel that script? Is it in your chest, your throat, your belly, maybe in your back? If it's in your back, bring it forward. And place a hand on the place, on the area of your body. And breathe into it. Put life force energy into it. Don't force it to leave. Meet it with love. Breath and love. Send love, 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 love. Breathe into the area. And say quietly or in your head, I see you. I hear you. I release you. Take a nice deep breath. So today I want you to learn one of the most important things you will ever know. Your body has a clear yes and a clear no. And a clear yes feels like openness, expansion, warmth, relief, excitement, groundedness. And a no feels like contraction, heaviness, anxiety, tightness, dread, maybe shutting down. Your soul speaks through your body. We have to learn to listen so we can heal from the inside out. Okay, the journal prompts for tonight are: what messages has my body been trying to communicate to me that I've been ignoring? Where in my body do I hold the most tension and pain? What emotion lives there? What survival patterns do I still operate from? Are you overgiving, controlling, shutting down, people pleasing? That was a big one for me. If my body could speak freely, what would it say it needs most right now? And where is my body craving rest, softness, or release? I will put that, like I did yesterday, in the group afterwards, and then it's also at the top. There's a section where I've pinned it up. So day one, the recording is there. Day one's homework. Today, the recording and the homework will be up there as well. And then you can keep watching this. So this will all be available for a week. So until next Saturday. So I do advise that you do it over and over again, because you're not the same person that entered yesterday. So before we go, we're going to integrate all of this. Again, taking one final deep breath. Your body is speaking, your soul is guiding, and you are remembering what healing from the inside out truly means. You don't chase healing, you listen to it. You don't force alignment, you allow it. You don't fight your body, you partner with it. Your body is your portal. It's your compass. It's your healer. And tomorrow, we go into identity in the version of you who no longer needs to survive. Thank you for showing up for yourselves, ladies, and to the live. Have a blessed day. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put it in the group. Teresa, I hope I answered your question. And I know it goes against every grain of salt in our bodies, because we feel, well, we've been taught that we're supposed to have everybody get us. And that's not the truth. Hi, Lilith. We are just ending. So I'll put the questions in from the journal prompts from day 2. The recording will be up as lives, and then it'll be available again till next Saturday. Have a blessed afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.